We are recording. All right. Well, it's been almost about a month since I made one of these, and quite a lot has happened. Quite a lot, I would say. Oh man, I don't even know. It's late right now. Man, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. But I guess I'll just go from big things to, I guess, in whatever comparison, little things. Um, the most important thing is that my patch is almost gone. um, no. Um, well, I, a few weeks back, had a pre interview for KU, Kansas University, with Stephen Scott Alardi, and that went really well. It was only supposed to be 30 minutes, and it ended up going for an hour at the end of the conversation. Um, he gave me some really good signs that I'd be moving on to the official interview. And lo and behold, I think 2 weeks later, or a week later, I got the official email for the interview, which is February 1st, T minus 3 weeks at this point in time, almost exactly. Um, so I'm pretty nervous, but also not that nervous, to be honest. I don't know. I feel very good about it. Uh, I feel like I'm a good interviewer. I feel like I'm a decent speaker. Um, and I don't know. I think if I've made it this far, I don't really think my ability to speak is going to be the thing to hold me back. So, yeah, it went from 60 people who interviewed with him to 6 for the pre-interview and 3 for the official interview. So 2 people competing against me. Good luck to them. Gotta get a little cocky, confident. Gotta start believing myself a little bit more. So there we are. And I hope I actually do believe that. But I feel good, man. I've been training my brain for the longest time, trying to stay sharp and trying to stay, with the no drinking and with the meditating and the working out. I've been, really trying to do a good job of just being prepared for this. And I felt myself sort of falling off these last few days, but I gotta just lock in a little bit harder. Beyond that, yeah, we're at 5 months, no alcohol. It's pretty amazing. 5 months really isn't even that long, but it feels really good. I feel like my life is only recently really transitioning. I would say something about the new year. I have felt my mindset sort of transitioning towards finally really feeling proud of myself again and feeling accomplished and feeling like really believing in myself again, like respecting myself and admiring myself, and not like, in some grand way. I don't know if I've ever respected or admired myself in some grand way, but at least a little bit. Um, it's crazy how much one decision of not drinking has cascaded so much of me better in my life. And it's not just been that, it's been me deciding to sort of focus up more with my routines. It's been me kind of locking in more with work. Um, it's been me working 13-hour shifts and then coming home and then working out. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of things. So, but I want to keep getting better. That's the thing. I want to keep getting better. I want to keep doing more. I feel like I could look at myself and say, hey, man, you're working 9 to 10 Monday through Wednesday, and then normal 8 hours Thursday, Friday. You're doing enough, and then coming home and working out after that. But it doesn't feel like enough, and I know nothing will ever feel like enough. But um, this doesn't even kind of feel like enough, I suppose. There's still so many things I want to do and be doing. I want to be working on this short story. I want to be working on this TikTok page that I want to make. I want to be, and I have another short story idea that, yeah, I have another short story idea that I want to pop out after this one. I want to be working on my poetry. I want to be working on my Spanish. I want to be learning more about psychology. I want to be learning more about neuroscience. I want to be learning more about history. There's just so many things I want to be doing that a lot of time I'm literally not doing. Um, but the want is there, and I have to just kind of keep pushing. Some goal that I really have that's more concrete for February coming up is I want to be the type of person who wakes up early. It's going to be difficult given the sort of schedule that I have, but I'm hoping that I can work a way around it. I don't know. I mean, even if I could, wake up at, I think the earliest realistically I could do is like, if I could do 7:30. I mean, that wouldn't be bad. 7:30 waking up is cool, decent. So maybe even 7. If I get 7.5 hours, 7 would be cool too. And then yeah, and then go to the gym and then go straight to work from there. Modulate my days like that. So yeah, I'm looking into getting new therapists. I think Giselle and I have done a lot of amazing work, but I think that a lot of what that therapy offers is really cognitive change. It's really changing the way you think about yourself, and really understanding. I don't even know so much changing, but I would say it's more sort of understanding your thinking and kind of trying to accept it almost. Um, Kind of taking away the morality around it almost, and kind of accepting it as a part of who you are. Really checking in with yourself while you're talking about all these things, so you get mindful of how you feel. It's awesome in that sense, but I think I'm really moving towards something that's more kind of structured and measurable, and more behavior tool, technique oriented. I really want my behavior to really change, so I really have a metric of moving forward. So yeah, Bree and I have a new couples therapist. We've been working with. I had one session. His name is Ross, but he seems awesome. I've been definitely kind of putting her through the ringer in terms of trying to kind of do everything we can. I guess utilize whatever tools we can to sort of make sure we work. So yeah, that's been cool, and we've been going through our ups and downs as well. So that's that. But I'm in there and committed and willing to give it my all. So that's that. Gautam was here for. Well, actually, no, Gautam was here. I think when I recorded my last one. So, yeah, but man, having him around was awesome. Learned so much, and just I feel like that really inspired me for this next year. And those were a crazy couple weeks. Got to spend time with my sister. Got to spend time in the Bay. Being in the Bay was amazing. I feel what I really learned from that experience were a couple things, which is one, sort of the kind of emptiness that achieving all this wealth kind of brings you. Like you get this life that's tensionless, but it's just sort of empty, and it reminds me of the Viktor Frankl quote that what man needs is not a tensionless state, but a striving for a goal or some kind of purpose that's worthy of him. And I feel like that those tensionless states, like everyone's sort of aiming for that, and maybe it is what should be aimed for, but I don't know. It just seems so disconnected from the world almost. Kind of crazy. But another thing that it really taught me was that the importance of rest. I think that's something so simple, but I think I somehow, some way, find a way to fill every single second of my day with something that's distracting in one way or another. Even this right now is me still doing that. It's kind of amazing. I don't really know how I do it, but I do. And I need to really actually take like time to just sit and do nothing, because I think it set me up at least for a great week last week. Um, and I felt more motivated than I have in a while. Maybe since video 2 here, I would say is probably the last time I felt that motivated, which was definitely a few months back. And I would say a big part of that is sort of getting these interviews, which I think has definitely really pushed my my excitement and really made me feel like I have something to look forward to. But I also think it's just that rest. It just made me want to start listening to podcasts again. Me want to start learning again. Me want to start doing all these things again. All these goals felt like it was reinvigorated, which to me is a sense that my dopamine, in a lot of ways, got replenished, or I guess the things that were inhibiting the dopamine from working regularly sort of faded away. Whatever it is, I felt motivated to do things again, and so um, more rest is huge, especially with the sort of schedule that I have. I think it's so easy to really just freaking be doing stuff all the time, and I don't even really know when I'm burnt out when I'm not. Honestly, it's hard to tell. So maybe I'm burnt out all the time. And that's just kind of a sign, but I would definitely have been feeling burnt out this week though. I'm tired. um, and yeah, well, this is great. I just feel like I still got so much more I want to be doing. It's kind of crazy. Um, Last week was awesome. This week has been a little bit tough. It just felt, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with like the rain or what it's been, but I just kind of feel like this depressive slump. I feel like the kind of hype that I had last week is gone, which is kind of weirding me out because I feel like I should be more excited for this interview process. Like I am really excited, but I don't know. I sometimes wonder if like, they say like one of the, or at least from what I have learned, moving towards enlightenment means not really being swayed too heavily in the direction of negative when something bad happens, and not being swayed too heavily in the direction of positive when good things happen. It's sort of this neutrality that you maintain because you never really know what something means. You never really know if a good event is truly a good event. You never really know if a bad event truly is a bad event. Even if it is, I mean, what does it really do to change this sort of essence of who you are? Like life still kind of goes on. If I go into KU, I'm still Milan at the end of the day. Who I am, it stays the same. I'll get changed from these sort of events, but like it doesn't make me any less valuable in the grand scheme of things. And if I don't get in, it doesn't make me any less valuable in the grand scheme of things. In an existential sense, it's kind of all the same. It doesn't make me as a person better or worse. And I feel like that's a really great view to have, but it sort of kind of creates this neutralness. I feel like with most events where like, I don't know, there needs to be a way to balance that while simultaneously being able to be excited about stuff, because I feel like I sometimes get too caught up in that mindset of like, well, it just is what it is. It doesn't, you can't really null the bad without also nulling the good. And so I don't know. I feel like my brain is having a hard time really getting really hyped and pumped for this thing. Maybe as it comes sooner it will, or maybe I'm really nervous and I don't want to get my hopes up. That's also a possibility. I think that's also a really strong possibility. It's hard for my brain to imagine me being in a PhD program this fall in Kansas. I mean, that doesn't even sound real. I don't know. I really can't imagine it. So I think there's probably a lot of that happening as well, realistically. Because yeah, if I didn't get it, I mean, it would hurt. It would hurt. I don't know. I don't know. Also, but even then, it's like even if I do get in, I'm just so nervous for that future. So I don't know, man. But things are moving. Things are moving. I have really felt God working in my life lately, and um, yeah, I feel, well, I am extremely blessed. What I feel is maybe not that all the time, but I sort of wonder how in this life where everything is not really focused on survival or making it through the day, it's focused on these sort of higher order needs like meaning and purpose and fulfillment, transcendence, self transcendence. I wonder how in these contexts one really moves forward and sort of doesn't really get caught up in the sort of. I thought the other day that I think my life is sort of this ever present now what. Any event that happens, okay, now what? Okay, now what? And I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that loop, because it feels like that really dominates my life. And Just curious how one moves out of this ever present now what? How does one move towards I am here now and that's enough? From now what to now is enough. I need to write that down. Um, that's my goal, you know. Um, but a lot of times it just feels like life is this series of going from brain states that are like positive to like neutral, and then going from brain states that are negative to neutral, and just everything just doing this all the time. And it's just like, what does any of this really mean? You know, what does any of this really beyond this sort of fluctuation, this oscillation of brain states? What are any of us really looking for? What am I really looking for with all of this? Say I do get into KU, say I become a clinical psychologist, say I am grow to be 6'4" and shredded and all my habits are perfect. What am I really looking for? What does any of that really bring me? And I feel like a part of me deep down feels like it won't really bring me anything. And then why do it then, you know? I guess there's some blind hope that it will bring me something. But I don't know if any of these tasks, any of these roles, any of these things really fill that. I hope it does. I mean, clinical psychology for me feels like the one really shot that can do it, if anything. I don't really know what else even kind of would. Helping people, and especially with their minds, seems like the best shot for that, but I just fear it won't. And then, I don't know. I don't really know where I go from there. I feel like sometimes that's how people get into these really depressive states, or they chase these things that they're like searching, like, oh, this would be the thing that makes me feel like I matter. And then they still don't. And then they kind of hit a cliff. So, but we just keep on trucking, man. We keep on going. I'm more than anything really glad to have a journal entry that is, while still sort of depressive, less depressive than the last few months that I've had, because that shit has been kicking my ass. But overall, I am feeling good. I'm feeling really great, and I would say this is things are looking up, you know, for the first time in a long time. So I'm glad.